What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. I apologize for the past couple of days of not doing streams, but that's what this Phillies baseball team does to me. But they do manage to salvage the series. They win this final game over the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we are going to go over the first two games of this series, granted of how ugly they were, because they were very, 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 very ugly. Coming off of that series win against the Chicago Cubs, you're hoping to build off of something, and you just don't, and you come up flat on your face in these first two games. It was, very frustrating, especially last night's game, too, and you're just, when your offense scores runs, your pitching immediately gives up runs. Ranger Suarez today was not good. Surprisingly, Covey yesterday on the mound, coming in after Matt Strahm, was surprisingly decent. He wasn't the reason why you lost that game. And then for, Monday night's game, it just wasn't good either. Was not good at all. You lose 6-3 on Monday. You lose 4-3 yesterday. Zack Wheeler wasn't good enough on Monday. Yesterday, even though I would blame the pitching because they gave up a run immediately after you tied the game last night, offensively, you score 3 runs in the first two games. Both games, actually, not combined. Offense needs to be way better. You come into today's game, Ranger Suarez immediately gives the Diamondbacks a 5-0 lead, and it just goes downhill from there, honestly, what it was feeling like. Offense wasn't really doing much. Ranger Suarez in his first 3 starts since, coming back from the IL, maybe getting a sign of maybe he was rushed back just because of how badly the starting rotation has been. Maybe that gives me a little bit of a sense there that he was definitely rushed, in my opinion, even though we were all begging Ranger to come back at this point. He doesn't look right. He just doesn't look right at all. Command's not there. Can't locate his fastball. Looks like he's getting frustrating, allowing way too many hits and, so many spans. Just not looking like the calm and collected Ranger Suarez and, confident Ranger Suarez that we're used to seeing. So that's concerning over the long run. Hopefully he figures it out. But if the Phillies lost today's game, I would have been ballistic. I'm still very frustrated overall with this series, but the way they won today, coming back down from 5-0, Trea Turner with a game-tying home run after Trea Turner basically this entire season has sucked. He's been terrible. He's been brutal. He was 0 for 4 coming into the game in that bottom of the 9th inning. And the man, oh my God. First pitch swinging. I'm just thinking to myself, my God, your first pitch swinging. Dude, you're struggling. Please don't go after the first pitch. The dude crushes a hanger into the seats to tie the ball game. 2 outs on the first pitch. Bryson stopped doing his job as well to get on base with a single to, keep the inning alive. So Trea Turner coming up huge in that moment. We needed it. He desperately needed it. That was one of his best-looking swings probably all year. He needed that. He desperately needed that. And I pray to God because, the fans have been really laying into Trea Turner, and it's granted because he has been terrible. You're hearing all the boos running down at Citizens Bank Park. Trust me, I was there yesterday. The boos were very loud for Trea Turner, and they just kept getting louder and louder the more he got out. So, he needed that one, and he really needs to find a way to string together some consistent ABs, some consistent hitting. He hasn't really done that basically since the first week of the season when he was, lights out there. Ever since then, it's been brutal. It's been terrible. So I pray to God that he finds a way. That he finds a way to build some consistency off that. Build some confidence off of that. Because you even heard him a couple of days ago saying that the boos are, he deserves the boos because he has sucked. He has admitted that himself. So at least he understands that point. That he deserves to be booed right here. He deserves to be booed because that's how bad he has been. But that could possibly be the signature moment that Trea Turner needs to get some confidence under his ass. Hopefully that's the case for him. Hopefully. Got to give a lot of credit to the bullpen. There were a lot of bases loaded jams in this ball game that Phillies pitching managed to get out of, which is another reason why you won this game. So those innings were huge from your bullpen. Terrible umpiring all around. In the top of the 10th inning, you get Rhys up at the plate calling 2 timeouts, which he's not allowed to do, by the way. You're only granted 1 timeout in an at-bat now with the new rules going around. So he should have been called out. And then eventually, in turn, Craig Kimbrell gets called for a ball. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter because he managed to strike him out. But still, it's just the fact at the time, it wastes so much time there. He should have been out regardless because he tried to call a second time out, which was not allowed. It's not allowed at all. It's just, Rob's getting pissed off. The umpiring was just overall terrible today. The strike zone was terrible. Everything like that. Some pitches that are low in the zone are called a strike, then the next very pitch in the same exact location is called a ball. I have no idea what this umpire was doing. And it felt like it was barely calling strikes, too. It felt like, he was so late to the call. You get a pitch right down the middle. 5 minutes later, he calls it a strike. That's how slow the guy was behind the plate. Jesus. But you found a way to win. You found a way to come back and win. Down 5-0. You chip away into the lead. Trea Turner comes up clutch in the 9th inning. Bryson Stott managed to get it to him. He ties it up. Craig Kimbrell shuts down the door in the top of the 10th. And then you come in the bottom of the 10th inning, bases loaded, Alec Bohm walk-off, basically single. Crushed the ball, too. Probably would have been a sac fly if the outfielder cared enough to catch it. But still, walk-off hit. And Alec Bohm, the past couple of days, has come up clutch for you. He's probably been your best hitter with runners in scoring position. Last night, he tied the game when he came in the pinch hit. So he's been your better hitter with runners in scoring position. Still, I want to see the power from him. He's been more reverting back to the slapstick hitter, getting singles all over the place, Alec Bohm. I would like to see a little more power in the bat, even though I do like his approach. It's a weird thing with Alec Bohm. Weird thing. The power is definitely real. He showcased that to us this year. I just need it consistently. But, man, I really hope this is something for Trea Turner. This is the biggest takeaway from this game for me. Something for Trea Turner to build off of here. First pitch, he finds the hanging curveball or slider, whatever it was, top of the zone, puts barrel on the ball, and he just crushes it. Looked very confident in that swing. He just went up there and did his job, something that he has not done basically at all this season. He really needed that. He desperately needed that. And I swear to, especially going into this huge stretch against the NL East, with the 4-game series this weekend with the Braves, the 3-game series after Memorial Day with the Mets, and then a 3-game series in Washington. A huge road trip. With you been scuffling, basically. Very inconsistent. This is your second time this year seeing the NL East, and you're seeing them for a stretch of 3 series in a row here. 7 games against the Braves and the Mets, so basically a 10-game road trip. You need to get the job done here. You need to prove to us that you can be consistent. You can prove to us that you can compete with the NL East. Because the Mets have been a lot better as of late. Pete Alonso's hitting home runs all over the place. The Braves are the Braves. The Nationals, they're the Nationals. They're not a good team. You got to beat them. In my opinion, it does start with your starting pitching, though. Zack Wheeler was not good enough on Monday. Allowing so many hits, basically just getting out of rhythm. Ranger Suarez has not been good. Taijuan Walker has had a couple of good starts, but mainly bad starts. Even though Nola, I feel like Nola has been the most consistent guy so far. He's slowly starting to get better. And then whoever your 5th option is, it's really, at this point, it's Kobe. That's your 5th option because you have no other reliable guys down there in the minor leagues. Because Christopher Sanchez has been getting rocked in AAA. I think Plasmeyer as well. There's really no other options. Mick Abel isn't ready yet. McGarry just came back from an injury, so he's not going to get rushed up. And Andrew Painter, hasn't even started anything yet. Basically, he's throwing, but he hasn't even started any type of simulated games or anything like that. I don't think he's even close to being ready for that. So it's still a long time for Andrew Painter. It's just right now you're lacking the depth in the starting rotation, and that's what's killing you. Also, yeah, the main point to your offense as well. Your main guys aren't doing much. Trea Turner, especially Kyle Schwarber, even though he has looked a lot better as of late, especially with the power numbers. I still need more from Kyle Schwarber. We are getting very close to June 1st, so hopefully that means he's going to turn the corner instantly on June 1st, hitting 2 home runs. That's all I expect from Kyle Schwarber. And Bryce Harper, he still is Bryce Harper. He's been basically trying to carry the team on the back coming off of Tommy John surgery. That's all he's been doing. Nick Castellanos, he's had his moments, but he hasn't been as electric as of late. But still, he's finding ways to get on base, driving runs, and all that stuff. So, overall, like I said, the power numbers, he hasn't hit a home run in a while either for Nick Castellanos. His average is down to 289. But he's going through little scruff right here. I think he'll bounce back. He's proven to us that this year that he's a way different Castellanos than he was last year. Other things, Brandon Marsh dealing with a nagging injury. Cody Clemens is apparently your most clutch hitter in this ball club the past couple of days. He almost had a game-tying home run last night, hit the top of the fence. But basically, after last night, really nothing else happened because the offense was just anemic. And then every time you try to, when you tie the ball game up, here comes Sir Anthony Dominguez, can't throw a goddamn strike, and he immediately allows the lead, the Diamondbacks to get the lead. So you tie the game instantly, your bullpen gives it up. It's happened way too many times this year. Way too many times. There's a lot of frustrating things with this team. Like I said, if they lost today, I would have gone ballistic here. But at least today I can find a way to build some positivity from it, just because you came back down from 5-0. Your bullpen pitched you some good innings, got out of a lot of bases loaded jams, which you made the Diamondbacks pay for. You definitely did. That's important. Your bullpen came up huge in this game. Just looking at some of the innings. Hoffman, he allowed the bases loaded, then Vasquez comes in, gets out of that situation. Brogdon gets into a situation with the bases loaded. He gets out of that. Marte has a clean 9th inning, and then Kimbrel has a clean 10th inning. So your bullpen came up very huge in this situation. Except for Hoffman. He walked 3 guys, so walked the bases loaded basically there. Looking at the lineup today, Bryson stopped with 3 hits, so it looks like he's starting to heat up again. His average is at 291, so it's gone up. Trea Turner 1 for 5 with that huge game-tying home run. He really needed that. Bryce Harper 1 for 4, averages at 324, 422 on base. It's unreal, man. Unreal. Nick Castellanos 0 for 4 with a walk. Kyle Schwarber 0 for 3 with 2 walks. Cody Clemens 1 for 4. Alec Boehm 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Brandon Marsh 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. Garrett Stubbs 1 for 3. JT Realmuto came in to pinch hit later on in the ball game. He went 0 for 1. Yeah, that's basically it there. Diamondbacks, they went 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position. That's basically the ball game there. Your bullpen came up huge for a Ranger Suarez that sucked. 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts and a home run allowed on 85 pitches. ERA's at 9.82 for Ranger. Has not looked good. He has not looked good. I threw it to the first start. He allowed a couple of runs against the Rockies. Okay, it's his first start back. He'll bounce back. He'll find a way to get better as the time goes along. Past 2 starts, man. Doesn't get it. He barely escapes the first inning against the Cubs. I don't even think he survived that first inning against the Cubs, actually. And, I think he went like 2 innings in that game, so it's still not good. And then today he goes 5 innings. It's its deepest outings of the year, but still 5 runs. You can't be doing that. Ranger needs to be better. Way better. A lot of people need to be way better. A lot of people need to be better. But going back to Trea Turner, there was also an instance in that game where the Phillies were trying to get something going. I believe Bryson Stott led off the inning with a hit or a walk. Then you're trying to get something going there. And then Trea Turner just has probably the worst at bat possible. Swinging at 2 pitches that are completely 10 miles outside of the strike zone. And there was something here. Trea Turner on that at bat specifically, it was horrible. There's no point to think about it ever again. I'm going to be bad. I'm going to be good. At least he understands. He understands. That's basically it. There's also a little bit of a comment here from Trea Turner, so let me bring this up. Well, not a comment, of a little bit of an interview here from Trea Turner. So let's see.
They don't bother me. My mom prepared me for anything in this game or in this world, so she was tough on me from an early age, and not much phases me. So she told me today she was booing me. She actually texted me and said, good game except for your 4th at bat. And I said, yeah, not a good one. And she said I was booing you. So yeah, she's why I'm here. One of the reasons why I'm here.
You're going bad when your own mother is booing you. You got it bad right now. You're going bad at the plate when your own mother is booing you. Man. I think Trea Turner's mom is a true Philadelphian, booing her own goddamn son. But yeah, he needs it. He needed that. He really, really needed that, man. And I really hope he finds a way to build the confidence. He desperately needs to. He desperately needs to. Because if you're looking at this upcoming stretch, like I said, 10-game road trip, all against the NL East. All of it. All of it. 4-game series against the Braves. You're going to have basically, I would assume, your 3 best pitchers on the mound. Nola goes tomorrow. Taijuan Walker pitches on Friday, and Zack Wheeler is going to be pitching on Saturday. Sunday, you don't know who's pitching. And, of course, that's a nationally televised game, so you don't know who's pitching then. Joy. So Nola, not sure who's going to be pitching for Atlanta in the first game because it's right now on ESPN, currently unknown. And then Friday's Taijuan Walker going up against Jared Schuster. He is 1-2 at a 5.49 ERA. And then Charlie Morton's going to be on Saturday against Zack Wheeler. Charlie Morton is 5-4 with a 3.61 ERA. And then Sunday, you're going up against Spencer Strider, who is 4-2 with a 2.97 ERA. We all know how much Strider completely killed us last year, except for Game 3 in the NLDS. Except for that game. So yeah, that's your pitching matchups basically for the Braves series. For the Mets, you're going to have Rangers Suarez, Aaron Nola, and Taijuan Walker. Going up against Kodai Senga. In the first game, he's 4-2 with a 3.77 ERA. Then Carlos Carrasco, who is 0-2 with an 8.68 ERA. He's been terrible. Got to light him up. But then you're going up against Max Scherzer, who is 3-2 with a 4.001 ERA. For the Phillies, like I said, Rangers Suarez, Aaron Nola, and Taijuan Walker for that series. And then for the National Series, you're going to have Zack Wheeler, a bullpen game most likely, which is most likely Covey, and then Rangers Suarez. So yeah. Gotta get the job done. No doubt. No doubt there. Then after that huge road trip, you come back to Philadelphia for 6 games, 3 against Detroit, 3 against the Dodgers. Oh, God. Then you got another West Coast road trip, 4 against the Diamondbacks, and 3 against Oakland. Joy. 3 940 games that week. My God. 3 940 games. My goodness. And then you got 3 games in Oakland. Thankfully, at least that series, it has the benefit of being on the weekend. Then you're back home, Braves and Mets again. Going to go on the road, blah, 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 before the All-Star break, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God. Just needs to be better, man. Just needs to be way better. This team, man. This team really wants to make you pull your hair out. It really does. But they salvaged the series, so I won't kill them enough. Even though I should, because the first 2 games of this series were not good. And honestly, let me go over these first 2 games too. Just to, show you how bad they were. So let me talk about Zack Wheeler's day. Was not good. 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs allowed, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. Offensively, Trea Turner was 1 for 4. Nick Castellanos was 0 for 5. Bryce Harper was 1 for 2 with 2 walks. JT was 0 for 4. Kyle Schwarber was 1 for 3 with a home run. Alec Boehm 0 for 4. Bryson Stott 1 for 3. Josh Harrison 0 for 2. Brandon Marsh eventually came in for that. 0 for 2. Guthrie 1 for 2. Then Clemens 1 for 1. Then Sosa 0 for 1. Blah, blah, blah. Runners in scoring position, you barely had any. You were 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and you left 8 runners on base. 8 runners on base. Bullpen, Hoffman allowed a run. Bilotti allowed an unearned run. So that's basically the summary there. You don't even tie the ball game up. You come back within, you make it a 1-run ball game, and your bullpen immediately gives it up. Surprise, surprise. Then you go to yesterday's loss, which I was at, and I was really frustrated with. Matt Strahm, really good first inning, then struggled with 2 outs in the second, and then allowed a 2-run shot after he allowed a 2-out single. So he went 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, 3 strikeouts. Then Covey comes into the ball game. He pitched pretty solid, actually. Not going to lie, he was very solid. 5 innings, 5 hits allowed, 1 earned run, and 1 walk on 6 strikeouts. He got the job done. He kept you within reach of the ball game. Sravy Dominguez was terrible, though. Didn't record an out, allowed 2 hits, walked 1, and allowed an earned run on 11 pitches. Soto came in, he walked another guy, but it got out of that bases loaded jam. Then Marte came in for the 9th and did his job. But overall, the damage was done there. Lineup-wise, Bryson Stott was 0 for 4. Trea Turner was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Bryce Harper 2 for 3 with a walk. Nick Castellanos 1 for 3. Kyle Schwarber 0 for 4. JT 1 for 3. Cody Clemens 1 for 2 with 2 RBI. Edmundo Sosa was over 2. Alec Bohm was 1 for 2 pinch hitting. Got an RBI single in there. And then Dalton Guthrie was over 3. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. 5 runners left on base. You tied the ball game up, and then Sir Anthony Dominguez immediately gave the lead back to the Diamondbacks. So there you go. This series was not good. Not good at all. So you finish this homestand 3-3. You win the series against the Cubs. You lose this series against the Diamondbacks. Win 3, lose 3. Not good enough. Not good enough. Especially after that horrid road trip in San Francisco. But you have a chance to prove a lot of things to us this weekend. And next week, honestly. You have a lot to prove to us. Because you're going up against the NL East. You're going to have a lot of nationally televised games. A lot of them. Saturday is going to be on Fox. Sunday is going to be on ESPN. And then Tuesday is going to be on TBS. You don't play Monday. You're off on Memorial Day, which is odd. Doesn't feel right. Does not feel right at all to have an off day on Memorial Day. Just feels weird. But that's the case. Why couldn't they do an off day tomorrow and then play a 4-game series Friday to Monday in Atlanta? I don't know. It's just food for thought there. But I don't know. I honestly have no idea. No idea there. Just none. None at all. We did just get a voicemail here from Sean. So Sean coming in with a buzzer beater here. So let's see what Sean has to say. You can leave voicemails at 215-839-9885, by the way. Text messages too. Leave your thoughts on anything going on here. Philadelphia sports, Phillies games, anything else. You can also utilize the YouTube live feed. It's your choice, your preference. I'm just giving you options. So let's see what Sean has to say about this series. Granted, we haven't talked in a while. Us. Here on the channel for 2 days. Probably since Saturday, actually. So 3 days, actually. Because I didn't do a recap Sunday. Didn't do one Monday. Didn't do one yesterday. Sometimes it's nice to have a couple of days off. So, what are you going to do? Let's see. Sean, what do you got?
Well, at least they salvaged something out of the series. I mean, the Phillies, to me, are just so hard to follow this year. I mean, every time you think they're going to turn the corner, they sputter and fall back. They win 2 games in a row, they lose 5. They win 3 in a row, they lose 6. This series in and of itself was weird. The 2 games you thought they should have won by the pitching matchups on paper, they lost. Today you thought it was over and they managed to rally and win. But do I have any optimism with them going into Atlanta to face the Braves? No. And just too many injuries, especially to the pitching staff. Suarez is batting practice right now. I don't know if he's ever going to get it together. Yeah, Trea Turner looks like he's coming out of it, but who knows? He could go 0 for 5 the next night. We'll just see what happens, but I'm tempering any kind of optimism for the Phillies, and to be honest with you, I just don't have much at this time.
I don't blame you, Sean. I don't blame you at all. I barely have any optimism going into this series against the Braves. I feel somewhat better that you found a way to come back, but still, you know, it's hard to find any type of optimism right now with this team. Now, if they find a way, because this would be so Phillies, to lose the series to the Diamondbacks, very underwhelming, very frustrating, then go out to Atlanta and New York and find a way to win like 5 out of 7. That would be so Phillies, wouldn't it? 5 out of 7, 6 out of 7? That would be. I'm not guaranteeing it. It's not going to happen. Not with the way this team's playing consistently or inconsistently. I would be shocked, though, because that would be pure Phillies. But like I said, this is a big weekend for them to prove a lot to us. Because the fans are rightfully frustrated because this team has been very underwhelming, very frustrating. They should be way better than the way that they're playing. Way better than the way that they're playing. So, it is what it is. Got to get out of it. We're right to be frustrated. We're right to be annoyed. We just want good baseball. One of the worst things to watch is bad baseball. And we've been seeing plenty of it this year. Plenty of it. I know a lot of people are still talking about it's way too early on all that crap. I know I did that all last year. It's too early. It's too early. They'll eventually come around. And they eventually did. They did. I just had way too many expectations for this to, turn out like this to start the year. So, there you go there. But, let's see what they do this weekend. I don't have much faith, but maybe they prove me wrong, and hopefully they do prove me wrong. Hopefully. So, get to one of these comments right here. I think the pitching is atrocious in how it's being used. Braves Mets will be tough outs. America's shortstop, Trea Turner. Yeah, the pitching staff right now, it's going through it. I'm very concerned about the pitching staff. Will the offense turn it around? I do believe the offense should turn it around because they're way too talented in that lineup to not. So, just got to wait and see. I really hope they prove me wrong this weekend. Really hope so. So, going to do it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'll be more consistent this weekend, especially since it's Braves. Braves and Mets, actually. So, expect a live stream every recap, every game after that. So, definitely expect that there. Thank you for joining today, regardless. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out the description down below. Don't forget to check out everything else. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you once again for joining, everyone.